I was 7,000 miles from home, serving my country in a combat zone, when I received a congratulations email from my bank. Congratulations on your approved HELOC of $85,000. I hadn't applied for any HELOC, but my sister had. Using my identity, using my house as collateral, and she was posting Instagram photos of the new car she bought with my money. She didn't know I had access to my emails. She didn't know I documented everything. And she definitely didn't know what I was about to do when I got home. My name is Morgan Hayes, and this is the story of how my sister committed identity fraud while I was deployed, how she stole $85,000 from me, how she lived a luxury life with my money, and how, when I returned home 6 months later, I destroyed everything she'd built and made sure she faced every legal consequence possible. Let me take you back to March 2024. I'm 28 years old, a captain in the United States Army, a military engineer deployed to the Middle East. I've been deployed for 6 months of a 12-month deployment. I own a house in San Diego, California, a modest 3-bedroom home I bought when I was 25 using a VA loan. I worked hard for that house. I saved every penny. It's my pride and joy, my investment, my future. Before I deployed, I made what I thought was a responsible decision. I gave my older sister Vanessa a limited power of attorney to handle any emergencies related to my house while I was overseas. Vanessa was 31, living with our parents, chronically unemployed, but she was family. I trusted her. I gave her copies of important documents in case something happened to the house. I gave her access to handle repairs or emergencies. I thought I was being smart. I was wrong. On March 15, 2024, I was in my quarters on base after a long day of work. I had limited internet access, but I checked my emails when I could. That night, I opened my inbox and saw an email from Pacific Coast Bank, my mortgage lender. Congratulations, Morgan. Your home equity line of credit for $85,000 has been approved. The funds have been deposited into your account. I stared at the screen, confused. I hadn't applied for a HELOC. I didn't need a HELOC. I immediately logged into my bank account, my heart racing. There it was, $85,000 deposited into my checking account 3 days ago. And then, the same day, $85,000 transferred out to an account I didn't recognize. Someone had opened a line of credit in my name, using my house as collateral, and stolen the money. I felt sick. I was 7,000 miles away, unable to physically go to the bank, unable to investigate in person. I immediately called the bank using the base's satellite phone, an expensive and difficult call to make. Pacific Coast Bank, how can I help you? This is Captain Morgan Hayes, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I just received an email about a HELOC approval. I didn't apply for any HELOC. This is fraud. Let me pull up your account, the representative said. After a moment, I see the HELOC here. It was approved 3 days ago. The application was submitted in person at our San Diego branch. The signature matches our records. That's impossible, I said. I'm deployed in the Middle East. I'm 7,000 miles from San Diego. I haven't been in the United States for 6 months. Someone stole my identity. There was silence on the other end. I'm going to escalate this to our fraud department immediately, the representative said. Can you hold? Yes. I waited for 10 minutes, my mind racing. Who would do this? Who had access to my information? Who knew I was deployed and couldn't easily check on my house or accounts? And then it hit me. Vanessa. I'd given her copies of my documents. She had my social security number, my birth certificate, copies of my ID. She had the power of attorney. She knew I was deployed and had limited communication. With a growing sense of dread, I opened Instagram on my phone. I went to Vanessa's profile. And there it was. Posted 2 days ago, a photo of Vanessa standing next to a brand new silver Mercedes-Benz convertible, smiling widely. The caption read, "Finally got the car of my dreams. So blessed. New car, new life, living my best life. The photo had 63 likes. Our mother had commented, "So proud of you, honey. You deserve it." I felt rage unlike anything I'd ever felt. My sister had stolen my identity. She'd opened an $85,000 line of credit using my house as collateral. And she'd used my money to buy a luxury car, while I was serving my country in a combat zone. The bank representative came back on the line. "Captain Hayes, I've spoken with our fraud department. They're opening an investigation. We'll need you to file a police report and send us documentation proving you're deployed." "I'll do that immediately," I said, my voice cold. "I want copies of every document signed for that HELOC. Every single page." "We'll email those to you within 24 hours, the representative said. "I'm so sorry this happened." I hung up and sat in silence for a moment. Then I opened my laptop and created a new document. At the top, I typed, "Operation Justice. Target: Vanessa Hayes. Objective: full recovery and legal consequences." I was a military engineer. I was trained to plan operations, to think strategically, to document everything. And I was about to use every skill I had to destroy my sister's fraudulent life. I started by taking screenshots of Vanessa's Instagram post. The car. The caption. Our mother's comment. I saved everything to a secure folder. Then I went through Vanessa's entire Instagram history for the past 3 days. There were more posts. Photos of her at expensive restaurants. Photos of her getting a spa treatment. Photos of her shopping at high-end stores. All posted after the HELOC money was deposited. All evidence. I saved every single post. Every photo. Every caption. Every comment. Then I did something Vanessa didn't expect. I didn't confront her. I didn't call her. I didn't tell anyone in my family. I wanted her to think she was safe. I wanted her to think I had no idea what she'd done. Because the longer she thought she was safe, the more evidence she'd create. The more money she'd spend. The worse the charges would be. Over the next 24 hours, I received the HELOC documents from the bank. I examined every page. The application had been filled out with my information. My name, my social security number, my address, my income. But the signature was a forgery. A good forgery, but not perfect. Vanessa had clearly practiced my signature. The email address on the application was one I didn't recognize. morgan.home@gmail.com. Not my email. The phone number was also unfamiliar. Vanessa had created fake contact information so the bank wouldn't reach me. The application stated that I was applying for the HELOC to do home renovations. It was approved because I had excellent credit, steady military income, and significant equity in my house. Everything looked legitimate on paper. Except I hadn't signed anything. I contacted a military lawyer on base. "I need legal advice about identity theft and fraud," I said. The lawyer, Captain Rodriguez, listened to my story and then gave me clear guidance. "File a police report immediately with San Diego PD. You can do this remotely since you're deployed. Contact the credit bureaus and put a fraud alert on your credit. Document everything your sister does with the money. And when you return stateside, press full criminal charges. What she did is identity theft, fraud, and forgery. Those are felonies." "Will I be liable for the money?" I asked. "No," Captain Rodriguez said. "Once you prove fraud, the bank will have to absorb the loss. But you need to act quickly and document everything." I filed a police report with San Diego PD that day, explaining I was deployed and my sister had apparently committed identity fraud. I contacted all 3 credit bureaus and placed fraud alerts. I changed all my passwords and security questions. And then I set up Google alerts for Vanessa's name, for the Mercedes license plate I found in her Instagram photos, and for any mention of my house address. I was building a case. A meticulous, documented, ironclad case. Over the next few weeks, I watched from 7,000 miles away as Vanessa lived a fantasy life with my stolen money. She posted constantly on Instagram and Facebook. Photos of her new Mercedes. Photos of expensive dinners at steakhouses and sushi restaurants. Photos of designer shopping bags from Nordstrom and Saks Fifth Avenue. Photos of her at luxury spas getting facials and massages. In one particularly outrageous post, she wrote, "Sometimes you just need to treat yourself. Life is too short not to live in luxury. Self-care is so important." I saved every single post. Every photo was evidence of her spending my stolen money. I also discovered through public records I accessed online that Vanessa had used $30,000 of the HELOC money as a down payment on a luxury condo. She'd moved out of our parents' house and into a high-rise condo in downtown San Diego with ocean views. Vanessa, who'd never held a job for more than 6 months, who'd always borrowed money from our parents, was suddenly living like a millionaire. All with my money. All using my house as collateral. I made detailed notes of every discovery. March 18th. Mercedes-Benz purchased, approximately $45,000 based on the model. March 20th. Condo down payment, $30,000 based on public records. March 22nd through April 5th. Approximately $10,000 spent on restaurants, shopping, and spa treatments based on Instagram posts and credit card records I obtained through the fraud investigation. Every dollar was documented. Every purchase was evidence. I also did something else. I didn't tell my parents what Vanessa had done. I wanted to see if they'd notice anything suspicious. If they'd question how their unemployed daughter suddenly had a Mercedes and a luxury condo. They didn't. In fact, my mother posted on Facebook, "So proud of my daughter Vanessa. She's finally getting her life together. New car, new home, new opportunities. That's my girl." I saved that post too. It would be useful later. In mid-April, I received an update from the San Diego Police Department. A detective had been assigned to my case. Detective Sarah Chen emailed me, "Captain Hayes, I've reviewed your police report and the evidence you've submitted. This is clearly identity theft and fraud. I've contacted Pacific Coast Bank and they're cooperating with the investigation. I've also run your sister's financials. In the past month, she spent approximately $82,000. New car, condo down payment, and various luxury purchases. None of this is consistent with her reported income, which is zero. She's unemployed. When you return from deployment, we'll need you to come in and give a formal statement. Then we'll move forward with arrest warrants. The charges will likely be identity theft, grand theft, fraud, and forgery. All felonies. She's looking at significant prison time." I wrote back, "Thank you, Detective Chen. I return from deployment in September. I'll come to the station immediately. Please continue documenting everything she does. I want the strongest case possible." "Understood," Detective Chen replied. "I'll keep you updated." I felt a grim satisfaction. Vanessa thought she was safe. She thought she'd gotten away with it. She had no idea that every luxury purchase, every Instagram post, every moment of her fraudulent life was being documented by both me and the police. In May, something interesting happened. Vanessa posted on Instagram, "Family dinner with mom and dad. So grateful for their support." The photo showed Vanessa, our parents, and our younger brother Kyle at an expensive restaurant. Everyone was smiling. I wondered if Vanessa had told them where her sudden wealth came from. I doubted it. I called my mother using the satellite phone. It was an expensive call, but I needed to know. "Morgan. How are you, honey?" My mother, Patricia, answered. "I'm fine, Mom. How's everything at home?" "Everything's wonderful. Vanessa is doing so well. She got a new job and she's really turning her life around. We're so proud of her." "A new job?" I asked. "What kind of job?" "She's working in real estate," Patricia said. "She just started. That's how she was able to afford the new car and condo. She got a big commission on her first sale. I felt my jaw clench. Vanessa was lying to our parents. She didn't have a job. She didn't have a commission. She had my stolen money. That's great, I said, keeping my voice neutral. I'm happy for her. You should call her and congratulate her, Patricia said. I know you two haven't always been close, but she's really changed. I'll do that, I lied. I have to go, Mom. Love you. Love you too, honey. Stay safe. I hung up and made a note. May 12, 2024. Vanessa lying to parents about source of income. Claims to have real estate job and commission. Parents believe her. No one has questioned the sudden wealth. The lies were piling up. The evidence was mounting. And in 4 months, I'd be home. In June, Vanessa made a critical mistake. She posted a photo on Instagram of herself at my house. My house. The house she'd used as collateral to steal $85,000. The caption read, "House sitting for my sister while she's deployed. Someone's got to take care of this place." In the photo, she was standing in my living room, holding a glass of wine, smiling. I zoomed in on the photo. In the background, I could see mail on my kitchen counter. My mail. She was going through my mail. I immediately contacted Detective Chen. My sister just posted a photo of herself in my house. She's accessing my property without permission. Can we add trespassing to the charges? Absolutely, Detective Chen replied. Save that post. It's more evidence. I also noticed something else in the photo. On my couch was a designer handbag. Louis Vuitton, based on the logo. Probably $3,000. More stolen money spent. I documented everything. In July, 3 months before I was scheduled to return home, I received an email from Pacific Coast Bank. Dear Captain Hayes, our fraud investigation has concluded. We have determined that the HELOC opened in your name was fraudulent. The debt has been removed from your account and your credit report. We have filed charges against the perpetrator with local law enforcement. We sincerely apologize for this incident. I felt relief. The debt was gone. My credit was protected. And the bank had officially filed charges. Vanessa's legal troubles were about to get much worse. I forwarded the email to Detective Chen. She replied, "This is excellent news. The bank filing charges strengthens our case significantly. We now have multiple entities pursuing your sister. You, the bank, and the police. She's not getting out of this." In August, 1 month before my return, Vanessa posted something that made my blood boil. It was a photo of her at a military appreciation event in San Diego. She was wearing a shirt that said, "Proud Army Sister," and holding a sign that said, "My sister serves so I can be free." The caption read, "At a military appreciation event today. So proud of my sister Morgan who's deployed overseas. Missing her so much. Can't wait for her to come home." The post had over 100 likes. People were commenting, "You're such a supportive sister. She's lucky to have you. Thank you for supporting our troops." I stared at the post in disbelief. This woman had stolen $85,000 from me while I was deployed. She'd committed identity fraud using my house. She'd lied to our family. She'd spent months living a luxury life with my money. And now she was pretending to be a supportive, proud military sister. The hypocrisy was staggering. I saved the post. It would be Exhibit A when I confronted her. I also made a decision. When I returned home, I wouldn't just press charges. I would make sure everyone knew what she'd done. Our family. Her friends. Everyone who thought she was a good person. They would all know the truth. September 2024. I returned from deployment on September 15th. I'd been gone for 12 months. 12 months of serving my country. 12 months of being away from home. 12 months of watching my sister steal from me and lie about it. When I landed at San Diego International Airport, I didn't call my family. I didn't tell anyone I was home. Instead, I went directly to the San Diego Police Department. Detective Chen was waiting for me. "Captain Hayes," she said, shaking my hand. "Welcome home. Are you ready to do this?" "Absolutely," I said. We sat in an interview room and I gave my formal statement. I walked Detective Chen through everything. Giving Vanessa the power of attorney, discovering the fraudulent HELOC, documenting her spending, her lies to our family, everything. "I have 6 months of documentation," I said, pulling out a thick folder. "Every Instagram post. Every purchase. Every lie. It's all here." Detective Chen looked through the folder, impressed. "This is the most thorough victim documentation I've ever seen. You've done our job for us." "I'm a military engineer," I said. "Documentation is what I do." "Well, you've built an ironclad case," Detective Chen said. "With your statement, the bank's fraud determination, and all this evidence, we have more than enough for an arrest warrant. I'll submit this to the DA today. We should have a warrant by tomorrow." "What charges?" I asked. "Identity theft, grand theft, fraud, forgery, and now trespassing based on that photo she posted in your house. All felonies. She's looking at 2 to 5 years in prison, possibly more." "Good," I said. "She deserves every consequence." "There's one more thing," Detective Chen said. "Do you want to be present when we arrest her?" I thought about it. Part of me wanted to see her face when the police showed up. But another part of me wanted something better. "No," I said. "I have a better idea. Can you wait 2 days to arrest her? I want to confront her first. Privately. I want her to know that I know everything. And then you can arrest her." Detective Chen considered this. "Normally I'd say no. But given what she did to you while you were deployed, I think you've earned that. We'll execute the warrant on September 18th at 10 a.m. That gives you 2 days. "Thank you," I said. I left the police station and drove to my house. My house that I hadn't seen in 12 months. My house that Vanessa had used as collateral to steal $85,000. When I pulled into the driveway, everything looked normal from the outside. I unlocked the front door and went inside. The house was clean. Too clean. Vanessa had clearly been here recently. I walked through each room, checking for damage or missing items. Everything seemed fine until I got to my bedroom. On my bed was a pile of mail. My mail. Opened. Vanessa had been going through my mail for months. I felt violated all over again. I also noticed that some of my jewelry was missing. A necklace my grandmother had given me. A pair of diamond earrings. I checked my closet. Some of my designer clothes were gone too. She hadn't just stolen my money. She'd stolen my possessions. I documented everything with photos. More evidence. Then I did something calculated. I texted Vanessa from my phone. "Hey, I'm home from deployment. Surprise. Want to meet for lunch tomorrow? I'd love to catch up." 3 minutes later, she replied, "OMG Morgan. You're home." "Yes. Let's meet at the Ocean View Cafe at noon tomorrow. I have so much to tell you. I missed you so much." I stared at the text. She missed me so much. The sister who'd stolen $85,000 from me missed me so much. Sounds great. See you tomorrow. I replied. I spent that evening preparing. I printed out every piece of evidence. Every Instagram post. Every bank statement. Every document. I organized it all in a folder. I also set up my phone to record audio. I wanted to capture every word of our conversation. The next day, September 16th, I arrived at the Ocean View Cafe at 11:45. I wanted to be there first. I chose a table in the back, away from other diners. I set my phone on the table, recording. At noon exactly, Vanessa walked in. She looked good. Expensive clothes. Designer sunglasses. Professional hair and makeup. All paid for with my money. When she saw me, she smiled widely and rushed over. Morgan. Oh my God, you're home. She hugged me. I didn't hug back. She sat down across from me, still smiling. You look great. How was deployment? Tell me everything. It was interesting, I said calmly. I learned a lot. Saw a lot. Discovered a lot. That's amazing, Vanessa said. I'm so proud of you. We all are. I went to a military appreciation event last month and I told everyone about you. I saw that, I said. I saw your Instagram post. The one where you called yourself a proud army sister. You saw that. Vanessa looked pleased. Yeah, I've been really trying to show my support while you were gone. I know it's hard being deployed. It is hard, I agreed. Especially when you're 7,000 miles away and you find out someone stole your identity and opened an $85,000 line of credit using your house as collateral. The smile disappeared from Vanessa's face. All the color drained from her skin. What? She said weakly. You heard me, I said, my voice cold. I know what you did, Vanessa. I know you used the power of attorney I gave you to access my documents. I know you forged my signature. I know you opened a HELOC in my name. I know you stole $85,000. I know you bought a Mercedes. I know you bought a condo. I know you've been living a luxury life with my money while I was serving my country in a combat zone. Vanessa's mouth opened and closed. No words came out. I know everything, I continued. I've known since March. Since the day the bank sent me a congratulations email. I've been documenting everything you've done for the past 6 months. Every Instagram post. Every purchase. Every lie you told Mom and Dad about having a real estate job. Morgan, I can explain, Vanessa started. No, I interrupted. You can't explain. There's no explanation for what you did. You committed identity theft. You committed fraud. You committed forgery. Those are felonies. Vanessa. You're going to prison. Prison. Vanessa's voice was shaking. Morgan, please. I made a mistake. I was desperate. I needed money. You weren't desperate, I said. You were greedy. You saw an opportunity to steal from me while I was deployed and couldn't stop you. You thought you'd get away with it. I'll pay you back, Vanessa said desperately. I'll sell the car. I'll sell the condo. I'll give you everything back. Please don't press charges. It's too late, I said. I already pressed charges. 6 months ago. The police have been investigating you this entire time. Detective Sarah Chan has a warrant for your arrest. You're being arrested in 2 days. Vanessa started crying. Morgan, please. I'm your sister. You can't do this to me. You did this to yourself, I said. You stole from me. You lied to our family. You pretended to be a supportive sister while you were committing felonies. This is on you. Mom and Dad will never forgive you if you send me to prison, Vanessa said, trying a different tactic. Mom and Dad don't know the truth, I said. But they're about to. Because I'm telling them everything. Today. No, Vanessa said. Please. They'll hate me. They should hate you, I said. You're a criminal. I stood up and pulled out the folder of evidence. I dropped it on the table in front of her. That's every piece of evidence against you. Every Instagram post where you bragged about spending my money. Every bank statement. Every document. The police have copies of all of it. You're done, Vanessa. I walked out of the cafe, leaving her sitting there crying. I felt no sympathy. Only satisfaction. That afternoon, I drove to my parents' house. Patricia and Robert were both home. Morgan, my mother said when she opened the door. You're home. Why didn't you tell us you were coming? I need to talk to you both, I said. It's important. We sat in the living room. My father looked concerned. What's wrong? Vanessa committed identity theft and fraud against me while I was deployed, I said bluntly. She stole $85,000. My mother gasped. My father's face went pale. That's not possible, Patricia said. Vanessa would never. She did, I interrupted. I pulled out copies of the evidence and handed them to my parents. She used the power of attorney I gave her to access my documents. She forged my signature and opened a home equity line of credit using my house as collateral. She stole $85,000. She used it to buy a Mercedes, put a down payment on a condo, and live a luxury lifestyle. The Mercedes she told you she bought with a real estate commission? Stolen money. The condo. Stolen money. Everything. She lied to you. She lied to everyone. My parents looked through the evidence in silence. Bank statements. Instagram posts. Police reports. Everything. My mother started crying. My father looked devastated. I don't understand, Robert said. Why would she do this? Because she's selfish and greedy, I said. Because she saw an opportunity to steal from me while I was deployed and couldn't stop her. Because she thought she'd get away with it. What happens now? Patricia asked, her voice shaking. She's being arrested in 2 days, I said. She's being charged with identity theft, grand theft, fraud, forgery, and trespassing. All felonies. She's going to prison. Prison, my mother repeated. Morgan, she's your sister. Can't you drop the charges? No, I said firmly. She committed serious crimes. She stole from me while I was serving my country. She deserves to face the consequences. But she's family, Patricia said. Family doesn't steal from each other, I said. Family doesn't commit identity fraud. Family doesn't lie and manipulate. Vanessa stopped being my family the moment she forged my signature. This will destroy her life, Robert said. She destroyed her own life, I said. I gave her trust and she betrayed it. I gave her access to help in emergencies and she used it to commit felonies. This is her fault, not mine. We raised her better than this, Patricia said, still crying. Apparently not, I said. There was a long, painful silence. I need you both to understand something, I said. I'm not the bad guy here. I'm the victim. Vanessa is the criminal. If you choose to support her over me, if you choose to defend what she did, then we're done. I won't have a relationship with people who think it's okay to steal from a deployed soldier. My father looked at me. We're not defending what she did. We're just shocked. We had no idea. She lied to you for 6 months, I said. She told you she had a real estate job. She let you believe she'd earned that money legitimately. She manipulated you just like she tried to manipulate me. What do you want us to do? Robert asked. I want you to stop making excuses for her, I said. I want you to acknowledge that what she did was wrong. And I want you to support me, not her. My mother wiped her tears. Of course we support you. You're our daughter. We love you. We're heartbroken that Vanessa would do this. So am I said. But heartbreak doesn't change the facts. She's a criminal and she's going to face consequences. I left my parents' house feeling emotionally drained but resolved. They needed time to process. But at least they knew the truth now. 2 days later, September 18th at 10 a.m., Detective Chan and 2 uniformed officers arrested Vanessa at her luxury condo. I wasn't there, but Detective Chen called me afterward. It's done, she said. We arrested her this morning. She's being processed now. Bail hearing is tomorrow. What's the bail likely to be? I asked. Given the amount stolen and the fact that she's a flight risk, probably $50,000 or more. Can her family afford that? I don't know, I said. That's not my problem. The next day, I received a call from my mother. Morgan, Vanessa's bail is set at $75,000. We don't have that kind of money. Can you help? No, I said immediately. Absolutely not. She's your sister, Patricia pleaded. She's sitting in jail. Good, I said. That's where criminals belong. Morgan, please. No, Mom, I said firmly. She stole $85,000 from me. She committed multiple felonies. I'm not paying to get her out of jail. If you want to help her, that's your choice. But I won't. My mother was silent for a moment. We can't afford it, she said quietly. Then she stays in jail until trial, I said. That's how the justice system works. Vanessa stayed in jail for 3 weeks before my parents managed to scrape together enough money to post bail. When she got out, she was required to wear an ankle monitor and wasn't allowed to leave San Diego County. In October, Vanessa's lawyer contacted me. Ms. Hayes, I'm representing your sister Vanessa. She'd like to offer a settlement. She'll plead guilty to reduced charges in exchange for probation instead of prison time. No, I said. I want her to face the full consequences of what she did. She's willing to pay full restitution, the lawyer said. $85,000 plus interest and your legal fees. She doesn't have $85,000, I said. She spent it all. She'll sell the car and the condo, the lawyer said. It will take time, but she'll pay you back. I don't care about the money, I said. The bank already removed the debt from my account. This isn't about money. It's about justice. She committed felonies against a deployed service member. She needs to go to prison. The DA might accept a plea deal, the lawyer warned. Then I'll make sure the DA knows I oppose any deal, I said. I contacted the district attorney's office and made my position clear. I'm the victim in this case. I'm a military officer who was deployed when these crimes occurred. I want the maximum charges and the maximum sentence. No plea deals. The DA, a woman named Jennifer Martinez, listened to my statement. I understand your position, Captain Hayes. And I agree. What your sister did is particularly egregious given that you were serving overseas. We'll push for the maximum sentence. Vanessa's trial was scheduled for January 2025. In the months leading up to the trial, Vanessa tried multiple times to contact me. Texts, emails, calls. I blocked her every time. She also tried to turn our family against me. She told our parents I was being cruel and vindictive. She told our brother Kyle that I was destroying the family. Some extended family members believed her. I received messages from aunts and uncles telling me I should forgive Vanessa, that family is more important than money, that I was being too harsh. I responded to each message with the same thing. Vanessa committed identity theft, fraud, and forgery against me while I was deployed. She stole $85,000. She lied to everyone. These are facts. If you choose to support a criminal over a victim, that's your choice. But don't contact me again. Some family members apologized. Others stopped talking to me. I didn't care. I didn't need people in my life who thought felonies were forgivable. In December, 1 month before the trial, I did something public. I wrote a detailed post on Facebook explaining exactly what Vanessa had done. I included screenshots of evidence, bank statements with account numbers redacted, and Instagram posts. I want everyone to know the truth about my sister, Vanessa Hayes, I wrote. While I was deployed overseas serving my country, she committed identity theft and fraud against me. She forged my signature, opened an $85,000 line of credit using my house as collateral, and stole the money. She used it to buy a Mercedes, a condo, and live a luxury lifestyle. She lied to our family about having a job. She pretended to be a supportive military sister while committing felonies against me. She's been arrested and charged. Her trial is in January. I'm sharing this because she's been telling people I'm being cruel and vindictive. I'm not. I'm seeking justice. What she did was criminal. And she deserves to face the full consequences. The post went viral. It was shared hundreds of times. People I hadn't talked to in years reached out to express support. I can't believe she did that to you while you were deployed. You're doing the right thing. She deserves prison. Vanessa's friends saw the post. Her former employers saw it. Everyone in our hometown saw it. Her reputation was destroyed. She tried to respond with her own post, claiming I was exaggerating, that it was a misunderstanding, that she'd made a mistake but didn't deserve to have her life ruined. No one believed her. The evidence was too clear. In January 2025, Vanessa's trial began. I testified on the first day. I walked the jury through everything, giving her the power of attorney, discovering the fraud while deployed, documenting her spending, her lies to our family, everything. How did you feel when you discovered what your sister had done? The prosecutor asked. Betrayed, I said. I was 7,000 miles from home, serving my country in a combat zone. I trusted my sister to handle emergencies with my house. Instead, she used that trust to commit identity theft and steal $85,000 from me. I felt violated, angry, and heartbroken. Did she ever apologize? Not genuinely, I said. When I confronted her, she only apologized because she got caught. She offered to pay me back only to avoid prison. That's not remorse. That's self-preservation. The defense tried to paint Vanessa as a desperate woman who made a mistake. They claimed she had mental health issues. They claimed she was under financial stress. They claimed she didn't understand the severity of what she was doing. I sat in the courtroom and listened to the excuses. None of them mattered. She knew exactly what she was doing. The evidence proved it. The trial lasted 5 days. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. They found Vanessa guilty on all counts: identity theft, grand theft, fraud, forgery, and trespassing. All felonies. At sentencing 2 weeks later, the judge was harsh. Ms. Hayes, you committed serious crimes against your own sister while she was deployed overseas serving our country. You violated her trust in the worst possible way. You stole her identity, forged her signature, and stole $85,000. You then lied about it for months and lived a luxury lifestyle with stolen money. This court takes crimes against service members very seriously. I'm sentencing you to 4 years in state prison, followed by 3 years of probation. You will also pay full restitution of $85,000 plus interest and legal fees, totaling approximately $100,000. You will have a felony record for the rest of your life. I hope you use your time in prison to reflect on the harm you've caused. Vanessa broke down crying. My mother, sitting in the courtroom, was also crying. My father looked devastated. I felt nothing but satisfaction. Justice had been served. After the sentencing, I walked out of the courtroom. Detective Chen was waiting outside. How do you feel? She asked. Like I can finally move on, I said. She's facing consequences. That's all I wanted. You did everything right, Detective Chen said. You documented everything, you cooperated with the investigation, and you didn't let family pressure make you back down. You should be proud. I am, I said. That evening, I went home to my house. My house that Vanessa had used as collateral to steal from me. My house that was finally, truly mine again. I sat on my couch and thought about everything that had happened. A year ago, I was deployed, serving my country, trusting my sister. Then I discovered her betrayal. I spent 6 months documenting her crimes from 7,000 miles away. I came home and systematically destroyed the fraudulent life she'd built. I pressed charges. I testified. I made sure she faced the maximum consequences. Some people thought I was too harsh. Some people thought I should have forgiven her because she was family. But I knew the truth. Family doesn't steal from each other. Family doesn't commit felonies. And criminals deserve consequences, regardless of their DNA. In February 2025, I received a letter from Vanessa. It was sent from prison. Dear Morgan, I know you probably won't read this. I know you hate me. But I need to say this anyway. I'm sorry. I'm truly, deeply sorry for what I did to you. You're right. I was selfish and greedy. I saw an opportunity to steal from you and I took it. I didn't think about how it would affect you. I didn't think about the betrayal. I only thought about myself. I've had a lot of time to think in here. About what I did. About who I became. About how I destroyed our relationship and our family. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect a relationship. But I wanted you to know that I understand now. I understand the severity of what I did. I understand that I deserve to be here. I'm going to spend the next 4 years trying to become a better person. Trying to understand why I did what I did. Trying to make sure I never hurt anyone like this again. I hope someday you can find peace with what happened. I hope you can move forward and have a good life. You deserve that. I'm sorry. Vanessa. I read the letter once. Then I put it in a drawer and never looked at it again. An apology from prison, after being convicted, after losing everything, wasn't genuine remorse. It was regret at being caught. In March 2025, I started therapy. Not because I felt guilty about what I'd done to Vanessa, but because I needed to process the betrayal. I needed to work through the trust issues that came from having my own sister steal from me. How do you feel about your sister going to prison? My therapist asked during one session. I feel like justice was served, I said. She committed crimes. She's facing consequences. That's how it should be. Do you feel any guilt? No, I said. I didn't put her in prison. She put herself there. I just made sure she faced the consequences of her actions. Some people might say you were too harsh, the therapist said. Some people don't understand that accountability is necessary, I said. If I'd let her get away with it, she would have done it again. To me or to someone else. I stopped a criminal. That's not harsh. That's justice. Over the next few months, I focused on rebuilding my life. I continued my military career. I was promoted to major in June 2025. I bought new jewelry to replace what Vanessa had stolen. I redecorated my house to erase any trace of her presence. I built a life that had nothing to do with her. My relationship with my parents was strained but slowly improving. They'd initially been angry with me for pressing charges, but over time, they came to understand that I'd done the right thing. We're proud of you, my father told me in July 2025. For serving your country, for standing up for yourself, for not letting Vanessa manipulate you. We're sorry we didn't see who she really was sooner. Thank you, I said. That means a lot. My brother Kyle also reached out. I'm sorry I didn't believe you at first, he said. Vanessa convinced me you were exaggerating. But after the trial, after seeing all the evidence, I realized how wrong I was. What she did was horrible. I'm sorry. I appreciate that, I said. Slowly, my family relationships healed. Not with Vanessa, but with the family members who mattered. In September 2025, exactly 1 year after I'd returned from deployment and discovered the full extent of Vanessa's crimes, I did something symbolic. I refinanced my house. I removed every trace of the fraudulent HELOC from my financial records. I got a new mortgage with better terms. And I celebrated by having a small party with close friends. This house is finally, completely mine again, I told my friends. No fraud. No stolen money. No betrayal. Just mine. You earned it, my best friend Sarah said. You fought for it. You deserve it. In October 2025, I received notification that Vanessa had sold her condo and her Mercedes to begin paying restitution. The total amount she owed me was $100,000. The sale of her assets covered about $60,000. She'd have to pay the remaining $40,000 in installments from prison wages, which would take years. I didn't care about the money. The bank had already made me whole. But I wanted her to pay every penny. I wanted her to spend years working to repay what she'd stolen. It was part of her consequences. In December 2025, I was contacted by a journalist. Captain Hayes, I'm writing a story about identity theft against military members. Would you be willing to share your story? I thought about it. Then I agreed. The article was published in January 2026, exactly 1 year after Vanessa's conviction. It detailed everything: her crimes, my documentation, the trial, her sentencing. It was titled, How One Army Captain Took Down Her Sister's $85,000 Fraud from a Combat Zone. The article went viral. I received messages from other military members who'd experienced similar betrayals. Thank you for sharing your story. My brother stole from me while I was deployed and I didn't know if I should press charges. Your story gave me the courage to do it. I'm going through something similar. Your documentation strategy is helping me build my case. You're a hero for standing up for yourself. I realized my story was bigger than just me and Vanessa. It was about accountability. It was about refusing to let family ties excuse criminal behavior. It was about justice. In March 2026, I was invited to speak at a military legal conference about protecting yourself from identity theft during deployment. I shared my story and gave practical advice. Document everything. Set up alerts on your credit. Limit who has access to your information. And if someone betrays you, don't let family pressure stop you from seeking justice. Criminals are criminals, regardless of their DNA. The speech was well received. I was invited to speak at other conferences, other military bases, other events. My story became a cautionary tale and an inspiration. In June 2026, I met someone. His name was Marcus, and he was a fellow Army officer. We met at a military event and immediately connected. I read about your case, Marcus said when we first talked. What your sister did was terrible. But the way you handled it was impressive. You didn't let emotion override justice. Thank you, I said. It wasn't easy. But it was necessary. We started dating. Marcus understood the military lifestyle. He understood duty and honor. He understood why I'd done what I'd done. Some people think you were too harsh, Marcus said one evening. What do you think? I think you were exactly as harsh as you needed to be, Marcus said. She committed felonies. She deserved prison. You didn't put her there. She put herself there. Exactly, I said. I'd found someone who understood. In September 2026, 2 years after Vanessa's arrest, I received another letter from her. Morgan, I know you didn't respond to my last letter. I don't expect you to respond to this one either. But I wanted you to know that I've been working in prison. I'm taking classes. I'm in therapy. I'm trying to become a better person. I've paid back $60,000 of what I owe you. I'm working on the rest. It will take years, but I'll pay every penny. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect a relationship. But I hope you're doing well. I hope you're happy. You deserve happiness. Vanessa. I read the letter and felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no sympathy. Just indifference. She was a stranger to me now. Someone I used to know. Someone who'd betrayed me. But someone who no longer had any power over me. I threw the letter away and moved on with my life. In December 2026, Marcus proposed. I love you, he said. I love your strength, your integrity, your refusal to compromise your values. Will you marry me? Yes, I said. We got married in June 2027, a small military ceremony on base. My parents were there. My brother Kyle was there. My close friends were there. Vanessa was not invited. She was still in prison. Some family members asked if I'd consider inviting her or at least telling her about the wedding. No, I said firmly. She's not part of my life. She hasn't been for 3 years. She won't be part of this. My mother looked sad but didn't argue. She'd finally accepted that my relationship with Vanessa was over. At the wedding, my father gave a toast. To Morgan, the strongest person I know. You've served your country with honor. You've stood up for yourself when it would have been easier to back down. You've built a beautiful life. I'm proud to be your father. I cried happy tears. This was my family now. Not Vanessa. But the people who'd supported me, believed me, and stood by me. In September 2027, Vanessa was released from prison after serving 3 years of her 4-year sentence. She was released early for good behavior. I found out through my mother. Vanessa got out of prison last week, Patricia told me over the phone. She's living in a halfway house. She's looking for work. She asked if you'd be willing to talk to her. No, I said immediately. Morgan, she's served her time, Patricia said. Don't you think it's time to move forward? I have moved forward, I said. I moved forward 3 years ago when I pressed charges. I have a good life. A happy marriage. A successful career. I don't need Vanessa in my life. She's your sister, Patricia said. She's a convicted felon who stole from me, I said. That's all she is to me. My mother sighed but didn't push further. A few weeks later, I received a friend request on Facebook from Vanessa. I declined it and blocked her. She tried to email me. I blocked her email address. She tried to call. I blocked her number. I wanted nothing to do with her. In November 2027, I received a message from Kyle. Vanessa is struggling. She can't find work because of her felony record. She's living in a tiny apartment. She's barely getting by. She's asking if you'd be willing to write a letter to potential employers explaining that you've forgiven her. No, I replied. I haven't forgiven her. And her employment problems are consequences of her actions. She committed felonies. She has a record. That's on her, not me. She's really changed, Kyle said. She's not the same person. I don't care, I said. She made her choices. She's living with the consequences. That's how life works. In January 2028, Vanessa showed up at my house. I was home alone when the doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole and saw her standing on my porch. I didn't open the door. Morgan, please, Vanessa said through the door. I just want to talk. 5 minutes. Please. Go away, I said. Or I'm calling the police. I've changed, Vanessa said. I'm not the same person who hurt you. I've spent 3 years in prison thinking about what I did. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please give me a chance to apologize in person. I don't want your apology, I said. I want you to leave my property. Now. Morgan, I'm calling the police, I said, pulling out my phone. Vanessa left. I watched through the window as she walked to her car and drove away. Then I called the police and filed a report. My sister, who was convicted of identity theft and fraud against me, just showed up at my house uninvited. I want it documented in case she tries again. The officer took my report. Do you want a restraining order? Not yet, I said. But if she contacts me again, yes. She didn't contact me again. In March 2028, my mother called with news. Vanessa is moving to Arizona. She found a job there. She's leaving next week. She wanted me to tell you goodbye. Okay, I said. That's good for her. She also wanted me to give you a message, Patricia said. She said to tell you that she understands why you can't forgive her. She said she hopes you have a good life. And she said she's sorry. Okay, I said again. I felt nothing. No relief that she was leaving. No sadness. No anger. Just indifference. Vanessa moved to Arizona and I never heard from her again. In June 2028, Marcus and I found out we were expecting our first child. I want our child to grow up understanding the importance of accountability, I told Marcus. I want them to know that actions have consequences, that family ties don't excuse bad behavior, and that standing up for yourself is always the right thing to do. They'll learn that from you, Marcus said. You're the strongest person I know. Our daughter was born in February 2029. We named her Grace. In April 2029, I received the final restitution payment from Vanessa. $100,000, paid in full. It had taken her 4 years, but she'd paid every penny. I donated the entire amount to a charity that helps military members who've been victims of identity theft. This money came from a crime, I told Marcus. I don't want it, but I can use it to help other people who've been through what I went through. That's perfect, Marcus said. In September 2029, 5 years after Vanessa's arrest, I was promoted to lieutenant colonel. At the promotion ceremony, I gave a speech. 5 years ago, I returned from deployment to discover that someone I trusted had betrayed me in the worst possible way. I could have let that betrayal define me. I could have let it make me bitter or broken. Instead, I chose to seek justice. I chose to stand up for myself. I chose to hold a criminal accountable, even though that criminal was my sister. That choice wasn't easy, but it was right. And it taught me that strength isn't about physical power. It's about moral courage. It's about doing the right thing even when it's hard. Even when people tell you you're being too harsh. Even when family pressure tries to make you back down. I'm proud of the choice I made 5 years ago. And I'm proud of the person I've become because of it. The speech received a standing ovation. After the ceremony, a young soldier approached me. "Ma'am, I heard about what happened to you. My brother stole from me while I was deployed. I didn't know if I should press charges. But your story inspired me. I filed a police report yesterday." "Good," I said. "Hold him accountable. You deserve justice." "Thank you, ma'am," the soldier said. I realized that my story had become bigger than just me. It had become a message. You don't have to accept betrayal just because it comes from family. You have the right to seek justice. You have the right to hold people accountable. And you have the right to move forward without guilt. My name is Morgan Hayes. I'm 33 years old. I'm a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army. I'm a wife and a mother. And I'm a survivor of identity theft committed by my own sister while I was deployed. 5 years ago, Vanessa opened a HELOC on my house while I was serving overseas. She stole $85,000. She lived a luxury life with my money. She bragged about it on social media. And then the lender emailed me. And I destroyed her. I documented everything. I pressed charges. I testified. I made sure she went to prison. Some people thought I was too harsh. Some people thought I should have forgiven her because she was family. But I knew the truth. Criminals deserve consequences, regardless of their DNA. Vanessa served 3 years in prison. She paid full restitution. She has a felony record for the rest of her life. And I have no relationship with her. I don't regret my choices. I don't feel guilty. I feel proud. Proud that I stood up for myself. Proud that I sought justice. Proud that I didn't let family pressure make me compromise my values. That's my story. Not a story of revenge, but a story of justice. Of accountability. Of refusing to let betrayal go unpunished. My sister opened a HELOC on my house while I was deployed. She bragged about it on Instagram. And then the lender emailed me. And I made sure she faced every consequence she deserved.